Hallo YouTube und herzlich willkommen zurück bei Week of Play. Foolish Mortals steht auf dem Programm. Und wir gehen jetzt hier mal in die verwunschene Villa rein. Bin sehr gespannt, ob wir da wieder rauskommen lebend. Probieren wir mal. Ne?
I needed the key to open it.
Ja, den Hammer. Den Hammer.
With a deep breath, I placed the key into the lock of the house I'd been thinking about for weeks and turned it.
Ja. Tja, hilft nix. Rein da.
Hello? I don't know if I expected a reply, but with only an echo in response, it seemed like nobody was home.
Yo, also.
I hope that was just the wind.
Ach du Scheiße. Okay. Was war das? Was ist das?
An orb appeared seemingly from nowhere, glowing and shimmering with energy, simultaneously captivating and terrifying. It was like it had a presence, an aura that I couldn't explain. My first instinct was to look for smoke and mirrors, but this illusion was right before my very eyes, one that I could reach out and touch.
Okay, durch die linke Tür. Aber warte mal. Kann ich jetzt hier noch was tun?
With neither of the doors appearing to open, I peered through the crack between them. I couldn't tell if I was imagining things, but it looked like shadows dancing.
Was?
It was a pair of decorated wooden doors.
Oh, der Schlüssel ist weg. Scheiße. Scheiße. Was war noch? Ja, hier war noch eine Tür, aber die geht safe auch nicht auf, ne? Das ist ja gruselig hier.
The door didn't have a visible lock.
Ja.
As much as I tried, it wouldn't open.
Natürlich
Flanking the
nicht.
staircases was a matching pair of doors leading deeper into the manor.
Ja, ich komme gleich.
It was a
Abigail?
painting of Abigail Belmore, hauntingly beautiful. Huge paintings hung on the walls of the hall.
Kamin vielleicht noch checken? Der könnte auch ein Secret
Without a flue, the fireplace seemed entirely decorative, and yet, standing in front of it, I could feel a breeze. A marble fireplace sat between the two curved staircases, guarded on each side by stone lions.
Vielleicht hier Tür. Also ich denke, keine Tür wird hier aufgehen, die verschlossen ist. Das wird zu einfach.
Like the other door, this door had no keyhole, yet still seemed to be locked too.
Ja.
Flanking the staircases was a matching pair of doors leading deeper into the manor.
Ja, und hier die Brüder mit Abigail, ne?
It was a family portrait of all four Belmore siblings.
Ja.
The three brothers stood around their seated younger sister. I
Absolut.
remembered seeing reproductions of the paintings in the Merry and Macabre magazine I had.
Das Portrait hier und dann sind wir, glaube ich, durch. Dann müssen wir uns entscheiden. Ich glaube, wir
It
folgen
was a painting of a gazebo overlooking the sea.
dem grünen Ball. Spirit Ball. Was das da war. Geisterball. Okay. Ich glaube, wir sollten ihm folgen, ne? Das andere wird wahrscheinlich zurück zum Eingang führen. Er zeigt uns den Weg, okay. Ja.
This was strange. I didn't remember seeing any lights on when I was outside the house.
Ich habe auch nichts gesehen, Bray. Gucken wir uns noch kurz das Zeugs hier an. Dienstglocke.
I couldn't ring the bells from the hallway. Affixed to the wall were 3 servants' bells, used to call the staff to different rooms in the house. It was a door to an unknown room. It was a door to an unknown room.
Lass mich raten, ich kann die nicht öffnen. Natürlich nicht.
The door was locked.
Natürlich nicht, ne? Natürlich nicht.
The
Klar.
door was locked.
Und dann gucken wir uns hier noch die Vorhänge an, was da passiert, was da los.
I looked behind the curtains, but there was nothing there.
Okay.
Thick red curtains were tied back in front of the window.
Ja, Schätze, wir müssen da rein, ne?
Walking into the room, I realized it must have been Abigail's bedroom. I was in the right place. Somewhere in this room was the gree-gree, and I needed to find it.
Was ist mit der Kordel? Oh. Das ist eine gute Idee.
The sheets lay flat on the bed, undisturbed for more than 30 years. The gree-gree wasn't going to be there. It
Nein.
was a grand four-poster bed with a carving of a single rose on its canopy. A
Ja.
cord hung from the wall used to call the attention of the house staff. It was a marble fireplace covered in dust. It was
Okay.
a marble fireplace covered in
okay.
dust.
Selber Text.
Above the fireplace hung individual portraits of 3 men. They must have been the bride's 3 brothers.
Schürhaken.
I took the poker from the hook.
Get out.
I hope that was my imagination. Portraits hung tight to the wall and didn't reveal anything hidden behind them. I wedged the poker in the grate.
Uh-oh.
All my might, pulled. Lighting the fire may have warmed the room, but it couldn't take away the chill I felt standing there.
Okay, da ist was drin
I
wahrscheinlich.
picked up the object that had been glinting in the fireplace and discovered it was a jeweled
Brosche.
brooch.
Kann ich... den Spiegel mache ich
I
extra
tried to open the
zuletzt.
balcony doors, but they were locked securely. I wasn't getting through them.
Aha.
Through the dust and grime that had built up on the glass, I could see that the doors opened out to a balcony overlooking the pond below.
Ja.
It was an old phonograph used for playing music.
Also den Spiegel extra zuletzt, weil
The
da ist
phonograph
sicher...
didn't have a record to play.
Ja, Schätze, wir sind durch. Aber schauen wir uns noch kurz die Brosche
It was
an.
an ornate brooch that had tarnished with age. What should have been a sparkling gem was now grimy and dull.
Ja, okay. Dann...
The corner of the room held a dressing table with a large trifold mirror.
Schätze, ich muss in den Spiegel schauen, ne? Ja, das war so klar.
It was best to leave the vase where it was. It was a beautiful vase waiting for beautiful flowers.
Okay.
I couldn't see anything special about the phonograph's reflection. The phonograph in the corner of the room could be seen in the reflection.
Ja.
The music box was locked with no visible keyhole, but a distinctive indent on the front looked like it might be the mechanism to open it, if I had the right key. The music
Aber dann
box
hab
looked
ich-
exquisite. The deeply varnished wood, grain still visible, was edged delicately with gold.
Also ich glaube, die Einkerbung...
The
Ja.
brooch fitted snugly into the indentation in the music box. With a small click, the music box opened and revealed the contents it had held untouched for more than 30 years.
Mhm. Also meine Videospielerfahrung sagt mir, sobald ich das Ding hier nehme, ist der Spiegel aktiv.
The small leather bag was just as the witch doctor had described. It was hard to imagine what could be so important about it.
Ja. Oh, doch nicht. Ah. Hallo.
You should not be here.
True.
Wait, I can explain.
You don't belong here.
I don't mean any harm.
Get out. Get out.
God bless his son, Teil.
With good fortune, the pond had broken my fall.
Ja.
It was a strange juxtaposition, wiggling goldfish out of my underwear as I tried to process the fact that I'd just been the victim of an attempted murder by a ghost bride.
Das ist ein geiler Humor.
Stories were true. So that meant the treasure might be real as well. And now I had the gree-gree. It was time to return to the Spirit Queen.
Ja, das war's. Ah, du gehst direkt, okay. Voila.
Did you find it?
I saw her. I saw the bride. She tried to kill me.
I told you it was true. Now, do you have the gree-gree?
Yes, I found it.
Good. Good. Now, do you believe what I've been telling you?
I'm
Schätze ja.
starting to. Why did she try to kill me?
There are some spirits that, even in death, do not wish to give up what they amassed in life. The question is, are you strong enough to persuade them?
I would be if they'd give me a chance to ask them.
Precisely. That will be our next step.
Okay. Okay.
A manuscript for a voodoo spell? A spell to help me find the treasure?
A spell to reveal those who know where it is.
Ich muss Zusagen
many
besorgen.
things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard, at least by mortals. But I commune with realms beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. Out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned, return now, my servants, to do my command.
Was geht ab, Bruder? Wer bist du?
I have returned to you, Master.
Lower, this gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies. Their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be pulled back to the mortal realm.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghost trapped within the house.
7 ingredients place inside, tie closed and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 7, we can summon the ghosts of Belmore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Be gone. That, Murphy, is your goal. Find the 7 ingredients named in the voodoo manuscript, place them in the gree-gree, and return to the Spirit Queen. Are you up to the task?
I think so.
Excellent. Then there's just one thing left to do. The gree-gree that you carry is not yours. It was stolen from the spirits. And an artifact of voodoo will only work for its rightful owner. To be used, it cannot be stolen. It can only be bought or traded or inherited. Fortunately for you, the spirits and I are willing to make a trade for something symbolic of your spirit. The spirit that yearns to escape its humdrum life. If you want the gree-gree to be rightfully yours, what do you have to offer in exchange for it?
Gute Frage, Bro. Ich hab nix.
Taking some of the witch doctor's candles wasn't going to help me.
Na.
Riverboat was dotted with lit candles, just the ambience you need in a voodoo den.
Ja.
In the center of the room was a huge stone pool filled with swirling green water. Gazing into the spirit pool, I thought I could see formless faces gazing back at me.
Okay. Irgendwas tauschen. Das wohl kam, oder?
Would the spirits trade the gree-gree for this?
A valuable brooch indeed. But I seek something that represents you, Murphy.
Okay, that represents me. Ja, scheiße, ne?
What about this?
A pocket watch. A symbol of the life that doesn't satisfy you. A symbol of lost time. Dare you give it up?
I think I can do without it.
Then cast it into the spirit pool. The spirits have deemed it a satisfactory trade. The Grigri and its powers are now rightfully yours to wield.
Okay,
You are
thanks,
ready
God.
now, Murphy. Head out to the island and retrieve the ingredients we need. Then I will show you the final step of the spell.
How am I going to find what I need?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I've found here. It's as though this island draws the supernatural to it. The bayou, the beach, the town, the manor, all will help you in your search. Tell me, Murphy, have you visited the mill to the north, the fort to the south, the church at the island's heart? The island will lead you to that which you seek. I
Okay.
have no doubt about that.
Habe ich neue Orte? Sieht ganz so aus, ne? Ja, okay. Also ich muss sagen, die Voodoo Lady in Monkey Island, die war ja Ehrenfrau. Aber der hier, bin ich seine Marionette und besorge ihm, was er will?
How are the ghosts trapped within Belmore Manor?
The explosion is what sealed their fate. They exist now only as spirits, the form they should take in the spirit realm, and yet they remain here in the mortal realm. The ghosts are trapped in that house, unseen, unheard, and unable to interact with the world around them. This spell will change that.
How is the bride able to attack me when she's supposedly unseen
Ja,
and
gute Frage, ne?
Voodoo works best when attuned to emotion, and the strongest of those emotions can sometimes push beyond the known limits.
Krass.
She must have been very angry with you.
If I summon the spirits of the house, won't I also summon the bride again?
Very true, Murphy. Best be a little more persuasive this time.
Ja.
What was the explosion that caused everyone to disappear?
It was a tearing in the very threshold between life and death, a chain reaction of spirit energy suddenly unleashed by the most violent of emotions. Just as the bride's anger allowed her to manifest in front of you this very evening, think of the rage that must have caused an entire household to explode and vanish.
Ja, kann ich mir vorstellen, dass die richtig angry waren, ne?
Who was the creature that you talked to?
That is my Loa. The Loa are the mysteries, the invisibles, the messengers.
Is it a ghost?
No, they are the intermediaries between humans and the supernatural. There are two planes of existence, Murphy. The mortal realm and the spirit realm. Loa can move between them both. With my powers, I can command them when they do.
Ja, ich hoffe, das geht gut aus, ne?
How did you learn voodoo?
I have always been adept with the mystic arts. Just as you dream of treasure, Murphy, I dream of power. I came to Devil's Rock many years ago, drawn by its voodoo energy, and no sooner than I arrived, the spirit realm began to reveal itself to me, pleading for me to be its master.
Papa Shanko gibt mir schon komische Vibes. Warum macht er das Zeugs nicht einfach selber hier, also und schickt mich da raus, das Zeugs zu machen? Kann er das nicht? Ist er irgendwie auch ein Geist oder sowas? Oder Manifestation von irgendwas? Ist er wirklich real? Ist er. Also da habe ich irgendwie. Der gibt mir schon komische Vibes.
Why is this island such a focus of voodoo energy?
I suspect the answer to that question already lies in what you're seeking.
Was meint ihr? Schreibt's mal in die Kommis. Ja, ich kann mir nicht helfen, aber ich habe das Gefühl, der ist sass.
What's this riverboat we're aboard?
This is the Spirit Queen. It used to be a pleasure boat, plying the rivers around the island, a den of drinking and gambling. That's how I came to own the boat. A lucky game of chance. But between you and me, Murphy, it's a lot easier to win when you have spirits to control the roll of the dice.
It sounds like you cheated.
Fate was always gonna bring this boat to me. I just hurried it along.
Ja, also das klingt nach Cheaten, Bro.
Do you keep an alligator as a pet?
That's right. My dear old Mephistopheles. Blind as a bat, but with the smell of a bloodhound. Good thing he's chained up safely in the boiler room.
No, he isn't. He was out on the jetty when I was trying to get aboard.
Where is he now?
Swimming in the bayou.
Oh dear, not again.
Ja, viel Spaß beim Suchen und Einfangen.
I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Tja. Also, das hier ist Teil 1. Der Beschwörungszauber. Wie viele Teile gibt's denn? Sag mal. Also. Wir brauchen Rum.
It was a bottle filled with rum. It was a bottle filled with rum.
Okay, wir brauchen die
It's a
Silbermünze.
single coin made of silver.
Ich glaube, die haben wir.
It was a
Schießpulver.
small mound of gunpowder. It was a pair of feathers, both black. It was a
Kreide.
crumbling piece of chalk.
Also Feder, Kreide.
It was a handful of
Sargnägel.
nails, once used to seal up a coffin. It was a
Noch ein
fragment of
Fragment.
bone.
Ja.
It was a manuscript that looked hundreds of years old, with the instructions to a spell that summoned things hidden within. It was a manuscript that looked...
Ja, hatten wir. Ja. Also, haben wir hier noch was Neues? Nein. Nein. Gut. Komm, hier mal ein bisschen schneller. Da können wir immer noch nicht rein, ne? Dem vielleicht.
With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame.
Jahrelange Erfahrung.
Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spiderwebs, and to top it, one thing lay undisturbed. A small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent eight-legged companion. Ugh! Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
Eine Spinne. Lizenz ausgestellt vom Handels- und Arbeitsministerium 1910. Kapitänslizenz. Ich habe eine Kapitänslizenz. Echt? Und wenn ich mein Foto hier reinpacke, dann...
It was a riverboat captain's license belonging to a captain yacht, but the space for a photograph was empty.
Dann bin ich doch hier, Kapitän. Verstehst du richtig, oder? Muss ich da überhaupt noch rein, oder ist es das? Nö,
I
muss ich
jiggled
nicht
the
rein.
handle, but the door was locked.
Ja, gut. Wo fangen wir denn an? Wir haben ja wunderschön hier neue... Ja, fangen wir oben, unten, unten nach oben oder oben nach unten. Wir wollen hoch hinaus. Oh. Ja, ich glaube, hier haben wir...
The lighthouse light was off. On the
Neat.
tallest tower of the fort was a wrought iron Victorian lighthouse, clearly out of step with the fort's stone architecture. It was like seeing a pair of spectacles in Michelangelo's David.
Keine guten Karten, ne? Hier geht's wahrscheinlich nicht weiter. Das war schon mal falsch.
The
Aber haben wir
plaque
das?
read, Fort de l'Amour. No public access. For further
Fort de l'Amour.
information, please contact the lighthouse keeper.
Das Fort des Todes.
On the wall of the fort was a rusting metal plaque attributed to the Devil's Rock Historical Society.
Ja, gut. Ich kann da rein. Ah, nee. Hallo, Kätzchen.
Kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. It was no use. That cat was clearly more entranced by shiny things than the stranger outside the gate. The cat was staring at the lantern, mesmerized by the light. I jiggled the gate, but it wasn't going to open. If pirates and the colonial powers of Western Europe weren't able to get into the fort uninvited, I wasn't about to either. Blocking my entrance into the fort was a sturdy iron gate.
Ja, ich hab schon eine Idee. Das ist... Fischi? Kätzchen?
Fish had been dead for years, was primarily comprised of stuffing, and smelled faintly of formaldehyde. The cat wasn't going to be interested in it in the slightest.
Ja, ja. Ich sehe das. Also haben wir hier...
Anything to do with the lantern. I could have tried squeezing my arms through the bars, but I already knew the barrel was too far away to reach. The coat of arms depicted 4 lions surrounding a central flower, topped by a medieval tower. A coat of arms was carved in stone above the staircase. I couldn't get to the staircase while the gate was locked.
Ja, das ist klar.
Stone staircase ascended out of sight.
Gut.
A barrel marked gunpowder was being rocked by the cat perched on top of it. On the wall, an electric lantern glowed brightly.
Elektrisch, okay. Also ich könnte versuchen, das Pulverfass in die Luft zu sprengen. Haben wir eigentlich
It was
das
a
schon
small
angeschaut?
leather pouch with a drawstring used for magic spells. Currently, it was empty.
Ja, okay.
The cat wasn't going to be interested in that.
Na,
I couldn't do that. Even with the poker, I wouldn't have been able to reach the barrel. The metal gate was far too strong to open with the poker.
ja, ich sehe es. Also, wir kommen hier nicht rein. Dann müssen wir tatsächlich nach oben. Das ist das Vor. Ah, geil. Ich kann hier durch zum Vor. Das werde ich wahrscheinlich auch benötigen. Oh, das sieht sasse aus da
The
oben.
church had a good view of the fort from this part of the island.
Aha.
In the distance, I could see the island fort. The lighthouse light was off.
Ja, vielleicht muss ich das Lighthouse leiden.
The inside of the church was silent and still. The window looked into the church. If you could see through the decades of dust and grime,
Kann ich da rein? Nein.
the church door was locked. The church door was solid and understated, like much of the rest of the church.
Sonst habe ich hier nichts. Ja, lass mich raten. Mit dem komme ich nicht
I
rein.
couldn't do that.
Ja. Ich kann zum Friedhof. Dude. Du hast die Nägel, die ich brauche. Ich muss dich irgendwie ablenken, oder? Schauen wir erstmal hier den
I didn't need to
Blasebagger.
warm my hands on the stove.
Yep.
It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty. An
Kann
antique
ich?
stove burned quietly in the corner of the tumble-down shack. I didn't
Ablenkungsmanöver?
need to warm my hands on the stove.
Ja, das hast du gesagt.
An antique stove.
Kann ich hier Ablenkungsmanöver starten? Ah, nee, ich kann sie mitnehmen. Was ist hier drin?
The tin was full of nothing but holes. A rusty tin can sat on the ground. Its label read, Bloom's Canned Beef, family-sized. Appetizing.
Ja gut, kann man
I
ja vielleicht
scanned
noch.
the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for. The
Ja,
graveyard was dotted with headstones. Some old, some young, some legible, some not. The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. A shabby-looking coffin lay unceremoniously on the rickety table. The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. A shabby-looking coffin lay
Ja, derselbe Text. Okay, ich muss irgendwie an die Nägel ran.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note.
Ja, hast du
The
gesagt?
graveyard was dotted with headstones. Some
Auch derselbe Text. Hier auch, oder wie?
I scanned the headstones.
Ja,
The graveyard was dotted with
okay. Sind es alles dieselben Texte oder entdecke ich da noch was?
I
Ich
scanned the
will's jetzt wissen.
headstones for
Ja,
the graveyard was dotted with
ja, hast du gesagt. Und was haben wir da?
I scanned the headstone. The
Mhm.
graveyard was dotted.
Ja, dann
I scanned the headstone. The
wir gehen
graveyard
jetzt
was
alle
dotted.
durch hier. Okay, verstehe. Alles dasselbe. Gruft. Und hier geht's zur Kirche.
I
Okay.
couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good. Embedded into the stony hillside was a large, intricately carved crypt with a decorative geometric pattern on its stone doors.
Okay. Ja, dann müssen wir da mit dir sprechen, ne? Mit dem Grab, dem Bestatter, ne? Warte mal. Warte mal, ich kann dich nehmen. Okay.
With the jack removed, the table rocked freely.
Okay. Dann ist jetzt Zeit, mit dir
Hello?
zu sprechen.
God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that!
Ja, sorry.
The dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry,
Sorry.
you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
Ah,
Little girl?
ja, die ist nervig.
Doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror. One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Who are you, anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well,
So sieht's aus.
welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
Undertaker. So, da sind wir jetzt auch durch mit den Referenten zur WWE, ne?
I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Das ist ja gut.
Do you know anything
Ist ja
about the
gut.
disappearance at Belmore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
Ja.
But what if
Stimmt.
they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the 3 brothers went missing, right? Well,
Oh, yeah.
if you ask me, I think Abigail Belmore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
Ja, ist schon sass. Da hat er schon einen Punkt, der Gute.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right?
Ja, denke ich auch.
Get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. Tell you the truth, quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
Ah,
Did you make
ja, das
this
stimmt
coffin?
natürlich.
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest the parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Okay.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
Ja.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Was the little girl
Ah.
named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She
Verstehe.
got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Oh, what was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful, he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying. Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Ja, da hast du recht. Klopf.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
Ja,
I best be running
absolut nicht,
along.
Bro.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
Ja, okay, Guys, das war cool. Nächstes Mal machen wir genau hier weiter. Lösen hier den Friedhof oder das Friedhofrätsel. Holen uns ein paar Sagenengel, die brauchen wir auf das Rezept. Und schauen, wie es weitergeht. Haltet die Ohren steif, bis dann. Tschö.